Introduction: The Journey to Powerful Communication. Every human being dreams of being understood, to speak and be heard, to express thoughts clearly, and to inspire others through words. Yet, most people struggle with communication not because they lack intelligence, but because they were never taught the art of connection. This book, 10 Tips to Boost Your Communication Skills, is not about learning fancy words or memorizing rules. It's about discovering the power within you, the strength that comes when you express yourself with confidence, empathy, and clarity. Good communication is the foundation of success in work, relationships, and personal growth. Whether you're talking to a friend, leading a team, or creating content for the world, the way you communicate decides how people perceive you. Through these 10 chapters, you'll learn how to listen deeply and speak wisely, express confidence through your voice and body language, build trust through empathy and understanding, handle criticism and turn it into growth, and most importantly, practice daily to master this life-changing skill. Each chapter in this book is written not just to teach, but to inspire. Every idea connects to real-life examples, spiritual wisdom, and practical techniques that will help you transform your conversations, your relationships, and your influence. You'll realize that communication is not a gift for a few. It's a skill for everyone. You already have the ability. All you need is guidance, awareness, and practice. So open your heart as you read. Reflect deeply. Apply each lesson in your daily life. Because once you learn to communicate with honesty and emotion, your words will not just inform, they will transform. This is your journey to discovering the voice that truly represents who you are, the power within. Chapter 1: The Power of Listening, the Secret Key to Great Communication. In the world of communication, most people focus on speaking, how to talk confidently, how to choose the right words, how to impress others with powerful speech. But few realize that the real secret to great communication lies not in speaking, but in listening. Listening is more than just hearing words. It is understanding the emotions, intentions, and meaning behind those words. When you truly listen, you build trust, respect, and connection. 3 things that form the foundation of every successful relationship. Think about it. Everyone wants to be heard. Whether it's a friend sharing their story, a coworker explaining a problem, or a loved one expressing their feelings, people crave genuine attention. When you give someone your full attention, you make them feel valued. That single act can open hearts, solve conflicts, and even change lives. Listening is not weakness. It's a form of silent power that can influence without dominance and lead without shouting. True listening begins with silence, not just external silence, but inner calm. When your mind is full of responses, judgments, or distractions, you're not truly listening. You're only waiting for your turn to speak. Great communicators know that listening requires patience and presence. They keep eye contact, nod in acknowledgement, and avoid interrupting. They make the speaker feel that their words matter. This simple habit separates ordinary communicators from extraordinary ones. Listening also helps you understand people deeply. Every person you meet has a different perspective, background, and emotion behind their words. By listening carefully, you gain insight into how they think and feel. This not only improves your understanding, but also makes your response more thoughtful and effective. You no longer react impulsively. You respond wisely. And that's where true communication mastery begins. Moreover, listening improves your emotional intelligence. When you listen, you develop empathy, the ability to feel what others feel. You start noticing the tone of voice, pauses, and expressions. You learn to sense when someone is happy, sad, nervous, or unsure. This awareness allows you to adjust your words and tone accordingly. In professional life, it helps you become a better leader, teammate, and negotiator. In personal life, it makes you a more caring friend, partner, or parent. Many conflicts in life come not from what we say, but from what we fail to hear. Misunderstandings grow when people stop listening. Imagine a heated argument. Both sides are speaking, but no one is listening. The louder they talk, the less they understand each other. But the moment one person chooses to listen, the tension begins to fade. That's the magic of listening. It calms storms and builds bridges where walls once stood. To become a better listener, practice 3 simple habits. First, be fully present. Put your phone aside, stop multitasking, and focus on the person in front of you. Your attention is the greatest gift you can offer. Second, listen to understand, not to reply. Don't think about what you'll say next. Just try to grasp what the other person truly means. And third, reflect what you hear. Repeat or summarize in your own words. This shows you're engaged and ensures there's no confusion. Remember, great leaders, mentors, and influencers all share one quality. They listen more than they speak. Prophet Muhammad said, "He who believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or remain silent." This powerful teaching reminds us that silence, when used with wisdom, becomes a tool of understanding and respect. In the end, communication is not a battle of voices but a dance of understanding. When you master the art of listening, you automatically improve your speaking. You speak with purpose, not pride. You connect with empathy, not ego. You start hearing the world in a way that most people miss. So, if you want to boost your communication skills, start by listening, really listening. Because when you listen deeply, you don't just hear words. You hear hearts. And that's where true communication begins. Chapter 2. Speak with confidence. Believe in your voice. Confidence is the heartbeat of communication. You may have the best ideas in the world, but if you cannot express them with belief and clarity, they lose their power. Great communicators aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who believe in their voice. Speaking with confidence doesn't mean being loud or dominating. It means trusting yourself, your message, and your worth. Many people struggle with fear when they speak. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of making mistakes. These fears silence thousands of voices that could inspire others. But here's the truth. Even the most confident speakers started from the same place, doubt. The difference is they decided to speak despite the fear. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the courage to speak even when you feel it. When you speak with confidence, your voice carries energy. It influences how others see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Every word you say either strengthens or weakens your belief in your own potential. That's why your inner dialogue matters. If you constantly tell yourself, "I can't," your voice will tremble. But if you tell yourself, "I can," your words will rise with strength. The mind believes what it hears most often, so feed it encouragement, not doubt. Confidence also grows with preparation. When you know your topic, you automatically speak with more ease. Study what you want to talk about, organize your thoughts, and rehearse if necessary. Preparation turns nervous energy into focus. Even in casual conversations, think before you speak. Not to rehearse, but to give meaning to your words. Confident communication is not about saying a lot. It's about saying what matters. Your body language also plays a powerful role. Stand tall, keep your shoulders straight, and maintain eye contact. A confident posture sends a message before your words even begin. Smile genuinely. It not only relaxes others but also relaxes you. Remember, confidence is contagious. When you look composed, your audience feels safe and open to listen. Sometimes, people misunderstand confidence as arrogance, but they are opposites. Arrogance says, "I'm better than you." Confidence says, "I'm comfortable with who I am." Real confidence is humble. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It's calm, steady, and respectful. You can be gentle and still powerful, quiet and still confident. Another secret of confident communication is authenticity. Speak in your natural tone. Don't try to copy someone else's style. The most attractive voice is the one that's real. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with honesty. When you speak from your heart, people feel it. Even if your grammar isn't perfect or your accent is different, what matters most is your sincerity. Confidence also grows with small victories. Start by speaking more in everyday situations. Share your opinion in a group, ask a question in a meeting, or record yourself talking about a topic you like. Every time you do this, you train your mind to stay calm under pressure. Over time, fear fades and strength takes its place. Faith also plays a big role in building confidence. When you believe that Allah has given you a voice for a purpose, you stop comparing yourself with others. You realize that your worth is not measured by people's approval, but by your intention and effort. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The most beloved speech to Allah is that which is truthful and concise." When your intention is pure and your words are truthful, your confidence comes from faith, not ego. Remember this. Your voice can motivate someone, comfort someone, or even change someone's life. Don't silence it with self-doubt. Every time you speak with confidence, you light a spark, not just in others, but within yourself. You remind yourself that your thoughts matter, your feelings matter, and your message matters. So, the next time you speak, stand tall, breathe deeply, and believe in your words. Don't rush. Let your voice flow naturally. Speak with conviction, not perfection. Because true confidence isn't about being flawless. It's about being fearless in expressing your truth. When you start believing in your voice, the world begins to believe in it too. Chapter 3. Body language speaks louder than words. Communication is not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Your words may carry meaning, but your body gives them life. The way you move, stand, look, and gesture can express confidence, honesty, fear, or even doubt without saying a single word. That's why people often say, "Actions speak louder than words." In reality, your body language often speaks before your mouth even opens. Think about it. When someone walks into a room with their head high, shoulders straight, and a calm smile, you immediately sense confidence. But if another person enters with slouched shoulders, eyes down, and restless hands, you sense nervousness before they speak. Your body is a silent communicator, constantly sending messages that others read instinctively. Learning to control and use your body language consciously can transform how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself. The first step in mastering body language is self-awareness. Observe your own posture, gestures, and expressions. When you speak to others, are your arms crossed defensively or open and relaxed? Do you make eye contact? Or do you look away often? Are you fidgeting or standing still with confidence? Small changes can make a big difference. Straighten your back, keep your head up, and stand with balance. These signals show strength and self-assurance. Eye contact is one of the strongest tools of nonverbal communication. It shows honesty, focus, and confidence. When you look someone in the eyes while speaking, you make them feel respected and important. But remember, balance is key. Staring too much can seem aggressive, while avoiding eye contact can seem insecure. Natural, friendly eye contact builds trust and keeps your listener engaged. Facial expressions are another powerful part of communication. Your face can show more emotions than your words ever can. A genuine smile can instantly make you more approachable, while a frown can push people away. When you smile while talking, you create warmth. When you maintain a calm, composed face while listening, you show respect. Your expressions should match your words. That harmony creates authenticity. Then comes your hands. They can either enhance your message or distract from it. Gesturing with your hands naturally while you talk helps emphasize key points and adds energy to your speech. But overdoing it can look chaotic. Controlled, purposeful gestures make your communication dynamic and memorable. For example, when explaining something important, open your palms slightly. It shows openness and honesty. Posture reflects your mindset. If you stand tall, you feel tall. Confidence starts in the body before it reaches the mind. Avoid crossing your arms or shrinking into yourself. Instead, keep an open stance. Even when sitting, sit straight with your feet grounded. It shows attention and respect. In meetings, presentations, or even casual conversations, good posture silently tells others that you're focused and in control. Tone and movement also play a huge role. A confident person moves with purpose, not too fast, not too slow. They walk steadily, take their space naturally, and don't rush. Your tone of voice should be calm, clear, and strong. Not harsh, not shaky. When your voice and body move in harmony, your presence becomes magnetic. But here's a deeper truth: body language is not just about impressing others. It's about expressing your true self. When your body and mind align, you project authenticity. Pretending confidence through fake gestures may work for a moment, but true power comes from within. Confidence built on self-respect naturally reflects in your body language. A good way to improve your body language is to mirror positivity. Observe confident people, speakers, leaders, or even those around you who communicate well. Notice how they stand, how they gesture, how they pause. Then practice in front of a mirror or record yourself. With time, these gestures will become natural. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad taught us humility and respect through his posture and expressions. He would always turn fully toward the person speaking to him, showing complete attention. This simple act is a profound lesson in body language. Your presence should make others feel valued. When you give someone your full attention, even without words, you show deep respect and sincerity. Remember, your body is your first language. It speaks before your words do and continues even after you stop talking. Use it wisely. Stand tall not to show pride, but to show confidence. Smile not to impress, but to connect. Move not to dominate, but to express harmony and peace. In the end, communication isn't just about speaking well. It's about embodying your message. When your body, voice, and heart speak the same language, people not only hear you, they feel you. So, before your next conversation, meeting, or presentation, take a deep breath, lift your head, and let your body speak with confidence, kindness, and truth. Because sometimes the loudest messages are spoken in silence. Chapter 4. Clarity is strength. Say what you mean. In a noisy world full of words, clarity is power. People often talk a lot but say very little. True communicators know that effective speech is not about how much you say, but how clearly you say it. Clarity brings confidence, trust, and respect. It makes your message powerful, memorable, and easy to understand. Confusion weakens communication, but clarity strengthens it. Clarity begins with your thoughts. Before you speak, you must first understand what you want to say. Many people rush to talk without organizing their thoughts, and their message gets lost. A clear mind produces clear words. Take a moment to think. What is my main point? What do I want others to understand? When you know your goal, your words naturally become focused and meaningful. When you communicate with clarity, people don't have to guess what you mean. They feel secure and respected because your message is direct and honest. Whether you're speaking in a meeting, giving advice, or having a personal conversation, clarity prevents misunderstandings. It's better to pause and speak clearly than to talk endlessly and confuse everyone. Many people mistake clarity for simplicity, but they are not the same. Simplicity is about using easy words. Clarity is about choosing the right words. You can use simple or complex language, but your message must stay sharp and focused. Avoid unnecessary details, long introductions, or words that don't add value. Every sentence should move your message forward. One of the best ways to stay clear is to avoid assumptions. Don't expect others to automatically understand your thoughts or emotions. Be specific. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," say, "When I talk about my plans, I feel like you're distracted." The second statement is clearer and more constructive. It expresses feelings and facts without creating unnecessary conflict. In professional life, clarity saves time and builds credibility. When you give clear instructions, people trust your leadership. When you write clear emails or reports, people respect your intelligence. Even in presentations, your audience connects faster when your message is simple and direct. Remember, communication is not about showing how much you know. It's about ensuring others truly understand you. Clarity also reflects honesty. When your words are clear, your intentions are visible. People can sense when someone hides behind vague words. But when you speak plainly, you show confidence and integrity. Prophet Muhammad said, "Speak the truth even if it is bitter." This hadith beautifully captures the power of clear communication. Truth may not always please everyone, but it always brings respect and peace of mind. To build clarity in communication, practice 3 key habits. 1. Think before you speak. Don't rush your response. A short pause to gather your thoughts shows maturity and wisdom. 2. Use simple structure. Begin with your main idea, then add details or examples if needed. Don't bury your message in long introductions. 3. Ask for feedback. After explaining something, ask, "Does that make sense?" Or, "Would you like me to explain that differently?" This shows humility and ensures understanding. Clarity also grows through listening. When you listen carefully, you understand the other person's perspective better and can respond more clearly. Communication is a two-way street. Clarity exists only when both sides truly understand each other. In personal relationships, unclear words often cause unnecessary pain. A simple misunderstanding can turn into a big argument. But when you express your thoughts openly, with kindness and honesty, problems become easier to solve. For example, instead of saying, "You don't care about me," say, "I felt hurt when you didn't call." This small difference changes everything. True clarity is not just about speech, it's also about your tone, expressions, and timing. Sometimes the right words said at the wrong time lose their meaning. A calm tone with clear words can heal. A harsh tone with the same words can hurt. Clarity without compassion becomes cold, and compassion without clarity becomes weak. The best communicators balance both. Remember, unclear communication is like fog. It hides your message and confuses your listener. But when you speak with clarity, your words shine like light, cutting through the fog and guiding others toward understanding. So, before your next conversation, take a breath and simplify your thoughts. Remove unnecessary words, express your meaning directly, and speak from the heart. Because when your words are clear, your message becomes powerful. Clarity is not just a communication skill. It's a reflection of strength, wisdom, and truth. Say what you mean what you... Chapter 5. The Magic of Empathy. Connect before you communicate. Great communication is not about speaking perfectly. It's about connecting deeply. You can have all the right words, a confident tone, and strong body language, but if your heart isn't involved, your message won't truly reach anyone. This is where empathy comes in, the power to understand and feel what others feel. Empathy is the bridge that turns communication into connection. Without it, words are empty. With it, even silence speaks volumes. Empathy means putting yourself in another person's place, seeing the world through their eyes, feeling their emotions, and understanding their struggles before you respond. When you speak with empathy, people don't just hear you, they feel understood. And being understood is one of the deepest human needs. In every conversation, there are two realities, yours and the other person's. Most people focus only on their own, what I want to say, what I feel, what I think is right. But empathetic communication goes beyond that. It says, let me first understand you before I share my view. This small shift changes everything. It transforms arguments into understanding and strangers into friends. Prophet Muhammad is the greatest example of empathetic communication. He listened to people with full attention, never interrupting them, and always responding with kindness. He understood not just what people said, but also what they felt. Once, a man came to him angry and confused, and the prophet didn't correct him harshly. He spoke softly and guided him gently. That's empathy in action, understanding the emotion before addressing the issue. Empathy requires presence. You can't be empathetic if your mind is distracted. When someone speaks to you, put away your phone, stop thinking about what you'll say next, and truly listen. Sometimes people don't want advice, they just want to be heard. Listening with empathy doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means respecting the other person's feelings. Another part of empathy is nonverbal awareness, noticing what isn't said. Pay attention to tone, facial expressions, and posture. A person saying, "I'm fine," might actually be struggling. Empathetic people see beyond the surface. They sense emotions through silence and respond with care. In professional life, empathy builds strong teams and loyal relationships. A leader who understands their team's emotions earns respect and trust. In personal life, empathy strengthens love and friendship. When you show genuine concern for others, they naturally open their hearts to you. Here are 3 ways to build empathy in communication. 1. Listen to understand, not to reply. Don't rush to give advice or defend yourself. Let the other person express completely before you respond. 2. Acknowledge emotions. Say things like, "I understand that must have been hard," or "It sounds like you were hurt." This validates their feelings and shows care. 3. Respond with compassion. Use gentle words. Your tone can either heal or hurt. Choose kindness even when you disagree. Empathy doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong enough to care. In a world full of noise and ego, empathy stands out as quiet strength. It creates peace where there was tension and understanding where there was judgment. Also, remember to show empathy to yourself. Communication starts within. If you're too hard on yourself, you may project that same harshness onto others. Forgive yourself, be patient with your growth, and you'll find it easier to show patience toward others. Empathy turns communication from a transaction into a connection. It transforms I into we. When people feel understood, they become more open, cooperative, and kind. Empathy doesn't always solve problems instantly, but it opens the door to healing and understanding, something every soul needs. The next time you speak to someone, whether it's your child, spouse, friend, or coworker, Don't just listen to their words. Listen to their heart. Feel their emotions before you form your response. Because when you connect heart to heart, your words gain the power to inspire and heal. True communication begins not with speaking, but with feeling. And empathy is the language of the heart. Learn to speak it, and you'll never struggle to connect again. Chapter 6. Think before you speak. The art of mindful communication. Words are powerful. They can build or break, heal or hurt, inspire or destroy. Every word we speak carries energy. Once released, it cannot be taken back. That's why the wisest people throughout history have always advised, think before you speak. It sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest and most important habits to master in communication. In our fast, emotional world, people often speak before thinking. They react instead of responding, shout instead of understanding, and hurt others without meaning to. But mindful communication, the ability to pause, reflect, and then speak, is what separates great communicators from impulsive ones. Mindfulness gives your words weight and wisdom. Thinking before speaking doesn't mean staying silent out of fear. It means choosing your words with purpose. It means asking yourself a few powerful questions before you open your mouth. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Will it help or hurt the listener? If your words don't pass this simple test, silence is often the better choice. As the Prophet Muhammad beautifully said, "He who believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or remain silent." This single hadith contains the essence of mindful communication. Speak when your words can bring benefit. Otherwise, your silence will bring peace. Mindful communication begins with self-control. Emotions are natural. Anger, frustration, sadness. But wise people don't let emotions control their tongue. When you're angry, your mind is clouded, and your tongue becomes sharp. A few seconds of silence in anger can prevent years of regret. Take a deep breath, calm your thoughts, and then speak. Remember, you can't control what others say, but you can always control your response. Another key to thinking before speaking is awareness of timing. Even the right words said at the wrong time can cause harm. Sometimes, people aren't ready to hear advice or correction. Wait for the right moment when the listener is calm and open. Good timing turns truth into wisdom. Poor timing turns truth into insult. Mindful communication also means being aware of tone. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A soft tone can deliver even hard truths, while a harsh tone can turn kindness into offense. Speak gently even when you need to correct someone. The Prophet corrected others with wisdom and compassion, never humiliation. His words healed hearts because they came from a place of love, not ego. Listening plays a big role in mindful speech too. When you listen first, you understand better. And when you understand, you choose better words. People who listen deeply rarely regret their words, because they speak from understanding, not assumption. Here are a few habits to help you practice mindful communication. 1. Pause before reacting. When someone says something that upsets you, don't reply instantly. Take a breath. That moment of pause gives you control over your emotions. 2. Be intentional. Ask yourself what result you want from this conversation. Do you want to help, correct, comfort, or argue? Let your goal shape your words. 3. Simplify your message. Don't over-explain or dramatize. Speak with calm confidence and clear purpose. 4. Respect silence. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Use it to think, reflect, or simply allow the other person to express themselves. In relationships, thinking before speaking can save love, trust, and peace. How many arguments happen because someone said something they didn't mean in anger? Once spoken, Words can't be erased. They leave marks on hearts. Mindful words, however, leave healing instead of scars. In leadership and teamwork, mindful communication earns respect. People trust leaders who speak thoughtfully and calmly. Rash words create chaos. Measured words create unity. Every great leader, teacher, and mentor learns this skill. They don't just speak to be heard. They speak to bring understanding. Thinking before speaking also connects to faith and character. A calm tongue reflects a peaceful heart. When your words are mindful, they reflect discipline, patience, and maturity. The more aware you become of your words, the more aware you become of yourself. In the end, communication is not about how fast you reply. It's about how wisely you respond. Speak with purpose, not pressure. Let your words be gentle enough to heal, but strong enough to stand for truth. Remember, silence is not weakness, and speaking wisely is not hesitation. The strongest voices are those that rise from calm hearts and thoughtful minds. So, before your next conversation, pause for a second. Think, feel, and then speak. Because one mindful moment can turn conflict into understanding and misunderstanding into peace. Chapter 7. Ask smart questions. Unlock deeper conversations. A good conversation is not about who talks the most. It's about who asks the right questions. Questions are the keys that open minds, hearts, and ideas. They turn ordinary talk into meaningful connection. People who know how to ask smart questions don't just speak well. They think deeply. They guide conversations toward understanding, learning, and growth. When you ask a question, you show interest. You tell the other person, your thoughts matter. This simple act builds trust, respect, and curiosity. Smart questions make people feel valued, and that feeling opens the door to honest communication. On the other hand, when we only talk about ourselves or give long speeches, we close that door because we stop listening. Asking smart questions begins with one skill: curiosity. Be genuinely curious about people, their experiences, ideas, and emotions. Instead of assuming you know, ask to understand. For example, instead of saying, "That was wrong," try, "Can you tell me what made you decide that?" The second one invites conversation instead of conflict. There are two kinds of questions: closed and open. Closed questions can be answered with yes or no. They're short and limited. Open questions start with what, why, how, or when. They invite deeper answers and stories. For example, cross mark, "Did you like the meeting?" Closed. White heavy check mark, "What did you like most about the meeting?" Open. The open question encourages thought, emotion, and engagement. Smart communicators use open questions to explore ideas, not to interrogate. Prophet Muhammad was a master of asking questions that awakened reflection. He would often ask, "Do you know who the bankrupt person is?" Or, "Shall I tell you what is better than prayer, fasting, and charity?" Not because he didn't know the answer, but because he wanted his listeners to think, not just hear. This is the highest level of communication, when your questions make others think deeply. In professional life, smart questions show leadership. In meetings, instead of talking endlessly, ask guiding questions like, "What challenges are we missing here? How can we make this process smoother? What can we learn from this result?" These kinds of questions don't just gather information. They inspire creativity and teamwork. In personal life, asking questions builds emotional closeness. Instead of saying, "You seem upset," try, "You look a bit down today. Would you like to talk about it?" This shows care and empathy. Good questions create safe spaces for others to open their hearts. Here are a few principles for asking smart questions. 1. Ask to learn, not to judge. Don't use questions as weapons. Questions should build understanding, not embarrassment. 2. Be patient with silence. After asking, don't rush to fill the gap. Give the person time to think. The best answers often come after a pause. 3. Listen fully to the answer. A question means nothing if you're not truly listening. Let the person finish completely before responding. 4. Build from their answer. Follow up naturally. If they share something important, go deeper with, "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about that?" Smart questions also make you a better learner. When you ask, you grow. Every question is a seed of knowledge. People who stop asking questions stop growing. Albert Einstein once said, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." In arguments, asking the right question can stop anger and bring peace. Instead of shouting, "Why are you always like this?" ask calmly, "Can you help me understand what's bothering you?" That one shift in tone and intent can turn conflict into understanding. In content creation, leadership, teaching, or parenting, smart questioning makes you influential. It draws people toward you because they feel seen and understood. Everyone loves someone who listens and asks from the heart. Finally, remember, asking smart questions is not just a technique. It's a mindset. It's about humility, accepting that you don't know everything. It's about respect, valuing another person's view. And it's about connection, building bridges of understanding instead of walls of opinion. The best communicators don't just give great answers, they inspire great conversations. So next time you talk to someone, don't rush to speak. Listen, reflect. Because when you learn to ask the right questions, you stop talking at people and start communicating with them. That's when true connection begins. Chapter 8. Handle criticism gracefully. Turn words into wisdom. Criticism. A word that makes most people uncomfortable. Nobody enjoys being told they're wrong or imperfect. Yet, the truth is, criticism is one of the most powerful tools for growth if you know how to handle it. Great communicators, leaders, and achievers are not those who never face criticism, but those who learn from it without losing their peace. When someone criticizes you, you have two choices. 1. React with anger and close your mind. 2. Stay calm and see if there's something valuable hidden in those words. Most people choose the first option. They become defensive, emotional, or silent. But emotionally strong communicators take the second route. They listen, think, and learn. They understand that not all criticism is bad. Sometimes it's feedback in disguise. The first step in handling criticism gracefully is emotional control. When you hear something negative about yourself, your ego wants to fight back. But remember, reacting immediately is like adding fuel to a fire. Take a breath. Pause. Think before speaking. Often, silence for a few seconds is the most powerful response you can give. Prophet Muhammad faced the harshest criticism in history. People mocked, insulted, and even attacked him. Yet, his response was calm, wise, and full of mercy. He never let anger cloud his character. His example teaches us that patience and dignity are the true signs of strength. There are two types of criticism. 1. Constructive criticism meant to help you improve. 2. Destructive criticism meant to hurt or belittle you. A wise communicator knows how to tell the difference. If someone offers feedback with respect and reason, listen. It might help you see what you missed. But if someone attacks you with hate or jealousy, ignore it gracefully. Their words reflect them, not you. When you receive constructive criticism, thank the person. This surprises people and earns you respect. Say something like, "I appreciate your feedback. I'll think about it." It shows maturity and self-confidence. It turns a moment of tension into a moment of growth. But when you face destructive criticism, mockery, insults, or jealousy, don't waste your energy explaining yourself to everyone. As long as your heart is clean and your intentions are right, time will prove your worth. Remember, diamonds are tested by fire, not by opinions. Here's a simple rule for handling criticism. Listen even if it hurts. Learn, take what's useful. Let go, release what's unfair. Every great communicator has faced criticism. The best speakers, writers, and leaders were once told they couldn't do it. What made them stand out was not perfection, it was resilience. They turned every negative comment into motivation. If you want to grow in communication, learn to separate your self-worth from your mistakes. Being wrong doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're learning. The one who fears criticism can never improve. The one who welcomes it with humility becomes unstoppable. In conversations, especially at work or home, responding wisely to criticism can turn enemies into allies. If someone says, "Your presentation was boring," don't snap back. Instead say, "I appreciate your honesty. What do you think I could improve?" This shifts the energy instantly. You take control of the situation with grace. Criticism is also a test of your ego. If your ego wins, you lose. But if humility wins, you grow. Great communicators don't seek approval, they seek progress. They understand that being right is less important than becoming better. Here are a few golden tips for handling criticism gracefully. 1. Don't take it personally. Most criticism reflects the critic's mindset more than yours. 2. Ask for clarity. Can you please explain what you mean? Sometimes people criticize vaguely. Asking this question filters real feedback. 3. Stay kind. Never mirror rudeness. Your calmness is your power. 4. Reflect later. Don't decide in the moment whether the critic was right. Think later when emotions have cooled. 5. Keep improving. Growth is the best reply to negativity. Communication isn't just about speaking well. It's about responding well. Anyone can talk sweetly when praised, but only a wise person stays calm when challenged. Always remember, people can attack your words, your ideas, or your style, but they can never touch your inner peace unless you let them. So next time someone criticizes you, don't rush to defend yourself. Smile, listen, learn. Let your growth be your answer. Because in the end, grace under criticism is not weakness, it's wisdom. Chapter 9. Build emotional intelligence. Speak to the heart, not just the mind. Communication is not only about words, it's about emotions. You can speak perfectly, use strong vocabulary, and have a confident voice, but if your words don't connect emotionally, people will forget them. The real art of communication lies in the ability to speak to the heart, not just the mind, and that's what emotional intelligence is all about. Emotional intelligence, often called EQ, means understanding and managing your own emotions while also understanding others' feelings. It's the invisible bridge that connects people on a deeper level. High emotional intelligence makes your message warm, sincere, and powerful, because people don't just hear you, they feel you. Think of your favorite speakers or leaders. Why do they move people so deeply? It's not just their words. It's their emotional tone, empathy, and authenticity. They speak with heart. They make you feel seen, valued, and understood. That is emotional communication, the kind that inspires action and trust. The first step to building emotional intelligence is self-awareness. You must know what you're feeling and why. When you're aware of your emotions, you control them instead of letting them control you. For example, if someone irritates you in a discussion, Emotional intelligence helps you pause and respond calmly instead of reacting in anger. Prophet Muhammad was the finest example of emotional intelligence. He understood the emotions of his companions, their fears, sadness, and hopes. He never raised his voice in anger, yet his words touched every heart. He taught us that true strength is an emotional balance, staying gentle when others are harsh, patient when others lose control. The second part of emotional intelligence is empathy, the ability to understand how someone else feels. When you empathize, you don't just listen to words, you listen to emotions behind those words. For example, when a friend says, "I'm fine," but their tone sounds low, empathy allows you to say, "You sound upset. Do you want to talk about it?" That one line can make a huge difference. Empathy transforms communication because it makes others feel safe. And when people feel safe, they open up. They trust you. They connect. That's when communication becomes meaningful. Here's a simple truth. People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. In professional life, emotional intelligence is the secret weapon of successful leaders and communicators. A manager with high EQ doesn't just give orders, they inspire. They sense when their team is tired, stressed, or motivated. They choose their words wisely to lift spirits instead of crushing confidence. In personal relationships, emotional intelligence brings peace. When you understand your spouse, your children, or your friends emotionally, arguments turn into understanding. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you might say, "When I talk, I feel unheard." The difference is emotional honesty. It heals instead of hurting. Here are a few ways to build and strengthen emotional intelligence. 1. Pause before reacting. When emotions rise, take a breath. Silence is often more powerful than words spoken in anger. 2. Listen with your heart. Focus on tone, expressions, and energy, not just the literal words. 3. Validate feelings. Sometimes people don't need advice. They need understanding. Say, "I see how that must feel," instead of "You shouldn't feel that way." 4. Stay humble. Emotional intelligence grows in humility. When you accept your flaws, you become more patient with others. 5. Use gentle language. Words like, "I understand," "Let's figure it out," or "I'm here for you," carry emotional warmth that opens hearts. The best communicators balance logic and emotion. They use logic to make sense and emotion to make impact. One touches the brain, the other touches the soul. When your speech carries empathy, your tone carries kindness, and your heart carries sincerity, people will always listen. Emotional intelligence is not a soft skill. It's a human skill. It's what makes communication real and powerful. In every interaction, try to ask yourself, how is this person feeling right now? What emotion do I want to create through my words? If you can answer those questions, your communication will always hit the right note. Remember, great communicators don't speak to impress. They speak to connect. And connection happens only when you speak from the heart. So build your emotional intelligence. Learn to sense emotions, control reactions, and express compassion. Because in the end, words that come from the mind may inform, but words that come from the heart transform. Chapter 10. Practice everyday communication is a skill, not a gift. Many people believe that good communicators are born with natural talent, that they just have it. But the truth is, communication is not a gift. It's a skill. And like any other skill, it improves with practice. Every great speaker, leader, or writer you admire today once struggled with words, confidence, and clarity. The only difference is they practiced until communication became second nature. Practice is the invisible bridge between knowledge and mastery. You can read hundreds of books about communication, but unless you use what you learn, nothing changes. The secret of growth lies in small, consistent effort, talking a little better each day, listening a little more deeply, and expressing yourself a little more clearly. Think of communication like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But if you train it daily, through speaking, reading, writing, and listening, it becomes stronger and more flexible. The more you practice, the more confident you become, and the more naturally your words flow. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the right time to practice. They think, I'll start when I'm ready. But the truth is, you become ready by starting. Every conversation you have today is a chance to improve. Talk to friends, family, colleagues, even to yourself in the mirror. The more you speak with awareness, the sharper your communication becomes. Prophet Muhammad practiced the best form of communication every day, through kindness, patience, and consistency. His words were always thoughtful and filled with wisdom. His calm tone, sincere heart, and clear expression didn't come from luck. They came from daily discipline. To build strong communication skills, you must practice in 3 key areas: speaking, listening, and observation. 1. Speaking practice. Speak out loud every day. Read an article or a verse and try explaining it in your own words. Focus on tone, rhythm, and clarity. Don't worry about perfection, worry about progress. Record yourself if needed, and notice how you sound. With time, your speech will become smoother and more confident. 2. Listening practice. Spend at least 10 minutes each day listening, really listening to someone. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your reply. Just absorb what they say. The best communicators are great listeners first. Listening teaches patience and understanding, and both are vital for effective communication. 3. Observation practice. Watch how people communicate, leaders, teachers, speakers, even friends. Notice their tone, body language, and expression. Learn from everyone. You can pick up lessons from both good and bad examples. Here are a few habits that make daily practice easier and enjoyable. Read something inspiring every day. Reading improves vocabulary, imagination, and sentence flow. Write regularly. Keep a short journal or share your thoughts online. Writing helps you organize ideas and express clearly. Join discussions or debates. Real-time conversation challenges your thinking and builds verbal confidence. Reflect nightly. Ask yourself, did I communicate with kindness and clarity today? Self-reflection turns experience into wisdom. Be patient. Progress takes time. Celebrate small improvements. A better tone, a calmer response, a clearer message. One day of practice won't change your life, but 100 days of consistent effort will transform you completely. The compound effect of daily growth is powerful. Every small step you take today brings you closer to becoming an exceptional communicator. Remember, even the greatest speakers in history weren't perfect. They stumbled, hesitated, and made mistakes, but they learned from each one. Mistakes are not failures, they're feedback. Each wrong word teaches you how to choose the right one next time. When you practice communication daily, it becomes part of who you are. You start to speak with natural confidence, listen with genuine empathy, and express yourself with clarity. People begin to notice the calm in your voice and the strength in your words. True communication is not about sounding smart. It's about touching hearts. And the more you practice, the more authentic you become. Because real power lies not in rehearsed speeches, but in honest, practiced sincerity. So start today. Speak with intention. Listen with attention. Learn with humility. Every day, do something, no matter how small, to strengthen your voice, your words, and your connection with people. In the end, communication is not a one-time lesson. It's a lifelong practice. Keep learning, keep refining, keep expressing. Because the more you practice, the more your words begin to carry power, the power within you. Conclusion, your words, your power. Congratulations. You've reached the end of this journey. But in truth, it's only the beginning. The lessons in this book are not meant to stay on these pages. They are meant to live in your words, your actions, and your daily conversations. Every chapter has given you a piece of the puzzle, from listening and empathy to confidence and emotional control. Together, these skills form the foundation of powerful communication, the kind that builds bridges, not walls. You now understand that communication is not just about speaking clearly. It's about connecting deeply. It's about listening without judgment, speaking with honesty, and responding with wisdom. When you speak with kindness, people trust you. When you listen with attention, people respect you. And when you express with sincerity, people remember you. Never forget, communication is energy. The energy of your words can lift someone's spirit, heal a broken heart, or inspire a dream. That's the kind of power you hold, the power within. But remember, power grows with practice. Keep improving. Keep learning. Every day, try to communicate a little better than yesterday. One conversation at a time, you'll notice the difference in your confidence, your relationships, and your success. So go out there, speak with purpose, listen with compassion, connect with courage. Because when you master your communication, you master your world. Sparkles, your words can change lives, starting with your own.